Appreciate you joining me today. We are going to be looking in Isaiah 53 today about the Messiah. Of course, today's hymn is the hymn Jesus, Meek and Gentle.
Jesus, meek and gentle, Son of God Most High, pitying, loving Savior, hear thy children's cry.
To think about the Lord's meekness and the Lord being gentle. And again, our passage is Isaiah 53. And hopefully you're familiar with Isaiah 53, but it begins, "Who has believed our report? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of dry ground. He has no form or comeliness, and when we see him there is no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we did not esteem him. Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows." Verse 1 is actually quoted in the New Testament. It's in the Gospel of John. Let me turn over there. In John chapter 12, I wanted you to just see where it's mentioned. You might notice the entry into Jerusalem. So we're within days of the cross. And Jesus talking about how he would be lifted up, signifying what kind of death was about to happen. The unbelief of the people, verse 36, "While you have the light, believe in the light, that you may become sons of light." These things Jesus spoke and departed, and was hidden from them. But although he had done so many signs before them, they did not believe in him, that the word of Isaiah the prophet might be fulfilled, which he spoke, "Lord, who has believed our report, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed?" Therefore they could not believe, because Isaiah said again, "He has blinded their eyes, and hardened their hearts, lest they should see with their eyes, lest they should understand with their hearts, and turn so that I should heal them." These things Isaiah said when he saw his glory and spoke of him. Nevertheless, even among the rulers many believed in him, but because of the Pharisees they did not confess him, lest they should be put out of the synagogue. For they loved the praise of men more than the praise of God. Verse 44, "Then Jesus cried out and said, He who believes in me, believes not in me, but in him who sent me. And he who sees me, sees him who sent me. I have come as a light into the world, that whoever believes in me should not abide in darkness. And if anyone hears my words and does not believe, and do not judge him, for I did not come to judge the world, but to save the world. He who rejects me and does not receive my words has that which judges him. The word that I have spoken will judge him the last day." Couldn't hardly find a place to stop reading there. But as we think about the account, let's go back to our Isaiah passage now. And we think about, and it's not Isaiah 40, where we were yesterday, pardon me. Isaiah 53, "Who has believed our report, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed?" And we think about how many of the people, and many of them did not believe, even though they had seen the signs. And what a sadness that was. Setting the stage for Calvary as Jesus is approaching the cross. The passage goes on there in Isaiah as we think about Jesus, meek and gentle. "He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He was led as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before its shears is silent, so he opened not his mouth." That he didn't fight against it. When Peter draws the sword, Jesus tells him to put it away after healing the man. Actually, I can't remember which one happened first, the healing or the telling him to put the sword away. But the Lord knew the things that had been written. He came to fulfill prophecy. And the prophecy was not that his disciples would fight. The prophecy was what Isaiah wrote down, what Isaiah said. From the Lord, he opened not his mouth, he was led as a lamb to the slaughter. He could have, obviously, he could have called the angels. But beyond that, if you even want to put it like that, he could have fought against it tooth and nail. He could have fought against it, and he could have reciprocated all the animosity that was being given to him. When people wagged their heads and said he saved others, why can't he save? Let him save himself. He could have said so many different things. Could have said so many different things. When the people cried out to release murderer, he could have yelled so many different things. He does say a few things. Speaks to his mother. Speaks to his father. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. Speaks of the nature of what he's doing. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Speaks to the thief. Today you will be with me in paradise. Speaks to the Father again. Into thy hands I commit my spirit. He could have said so many other things, but he doesn't. In his trial, he's fairly quiet. Fairly quiet. He opened not his mouth. And in all these things, as we think about the Lord's sacrifice, verse 10, yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him. He has put to grief. He has put him to grief. When you make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed. He shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. He shall see the labor of his soul and be satisfied. By his knowledge my righteous servant shall justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities. That phrase, yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him. It's the idea that this is how the Father was satisfied. When Jesus was in the garden and he says, let this cup pass from me, yet not my will but thine be done. If it is possible, let it pass. The issue was the remission of sins, and without the shedding of blood there is no remission of sins. And so, yes, he could have called down the angel. He could have asked for the angels to be sent. But then there would not have been the forgiveness of sins. And it's, don't ask me to fully, I don't think we can fully get why. There are some things that are just unfathomable for us. And all we know is what's been written. That it satisfied the Father. That these were the parameters. Parameters isn't the right word. This was the price. For a world of sinners, what was it going to take to justify them? What was it going to take to forgive them of their sins? What was it going to take? What price? What price are you going to put on that? And that's his Son. That's Jesus, meek and gentle. And so as we think about the hymn, and we think about the Son of God Most High, and we think about how we call upon him. Whoever calls upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. And we need our offenses pardoned. Because without Jesus, we are slaves of sin. And we better ask for the Lord's help, and we better break down the idols in our lives. Because we need the freedom that only his blood provides. As we set our sight on heaven That is our journey, following him. Jesus, meek and gentle, leaving us an example. We come to him as living sacrifices, denying ourselves as he denied himself. A lot of folks didn't believe. A lot of folks didn't believe. A lot of folks still don't believe. Whether we believe is up to us. And so we follow. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. Join us tomorrow for another portion of our daily praise.